Okay, for this module, we are going to learn how to implement a lead capture. And as just to refresh your memory, a lead capture is a box that lives on your website that collects names, email addresses from people so that you can begin building your list. And typically what you're going to do is give them something in exchange for their email address. It could be an ebook, it could be a checklist of some sort, basically whatever you would want that to be. So today we're going to learn about how to implement that. So you'll need to do it one of two ways. The first way would be to work with an email program like iContact that automatically sends out emails on your behalf, so that when someone does sign up, then this particular piece that you've put together is emailed to them automatically. Now that's one way to do it. iContact's going to run you about $69 a month. The second way to do it is, it's on the cheap, but it's going to require more work on your part, and that's going to be if you just have someone fill out a form that gets emailed to you, and then you have to manually send the piece of information back to someone. Now, again, there's a savings, but in terms of your time, you're going to have to really stay on top of that, your email. And if someone emails you at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're not going to get the piece of information that they're requesting until tomorrow morning when you get around to checking your email and getting that out. So that could definitely be a problem. So for the most part today, what we're going to talk about is if you have an email subscription program. I'll show you how to do it the other way too, but that's going to be the best way. So we actually have to go through and reverse engineer this deal. So we want to think about what the end goal is and then work our way backwards. So we're going to start out, we're going to talk about, so the grand purpose of this is so that you get more emails to your email addresses to your list so that you can then market to those people. So in order to do that, we're going to need what we call the lead magnet or a giveaway. It can also be called an ethical bribe. That is going to live on your website, ideally. So let's say we've got that piece generated and you have that crafted. Well, you're going to want to have it generated first. We then have to craft an email that is going to link to that giveaway, and that email is going to be sent out in an email blast. We also have to have this connected to what's called an autoresponder, which is an email that is triggered as soon as someone fills out the form, and then that email goes out, which contains the link. And the way that the person gets this entry form, if you will, in the first place is from a lead capture box that's on your website. So what we're going to do here is go to our demo site that we've been working with. You can see right here, this is an extremely simple version, but I wanted to make it as simple and clear for you as possible. So free copy of Rank Rocket. So someone just has to submit their email address and they will be given that, that copy will be automatically mailed to them. So what does this look like? Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is to go in and post that, or upload rather, this final piece. In this case, it's Rank Rocket. So what I did for that is this piece lives on our Janssen Marketing website. So we go into whatever website or whatever area that this is going to be living. Scroll down through here. And okay. So once you have the piece created and you have it saved on your computer as a PDF, then you're going to go into your media library on your website. This happens to be a WordPress site. And you can see I have it here, this Rank Rocket checklist. So this is the piece I'm giving away in its entirety. So I'm going to copy this link, and then I'm going to come over and I'm going to put it, I've done this twice, that's why it's there. I'm just going to put it on a notepad for now so I can keep track of the exact location of this. Because when I craft that email, it's going to have a link that is going to link back to this so that people can get that. Now I'm going to, okay, we're done with this. It's already been loaded up to the media library. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to come into my email program, which in this case is iContact, sign in, and I'm going to go to the right account. Okay. Now I've put a list together that I've called from the DIY website, right? And I've put together a welcome message. Very simple one. Make sure you tell people in the subject line, here's the link to the book or ebook or checklist or whatever it is. Have that in the email subject line. And then we just go down and just give an explanation of what you're doing, and then you're going to create a link so that people can, when they click on that, it's going to take them to that PDF that is hosted on your website. And it's very simple to do this. Different programs are a little bit different, but this process is basically the same. You're going to highlight the word where you want it, come up here and click on this link, and then insert the link. Type in what the link is going to be. Easy, easy. And then finish filling this out so that it looks the way you want it to look. You might want to have your logo down there as well. Make sure that you send yourself a test message that you can then go in and double check and make sure that everything looks the way that it's supposed to look. You're going to want to check all the links and make sure that everything does indeed link through properly. Okay, so now we have the email, and now we have that links back to the PDF that we're giving away, right? So now what we have to do is figure out, okay, how do we get this box there? So the way that we do that is it's going to a little bit different for different programs, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty close to the same. Okay, so I am going to go in and create, go back in here. I'm going to the list form, and I'm going to go to Signup Forms. Now I've already created one, right? But I'm going to go through and edit that just so you can see what that looks like. Okay, and if I wanted to add another field, I could definitely add another field. The more fields that you require from people, if you require their name and their phone number and their email address, they're going to be far less apt to give that to you than if all you're doing is requiring an email address. So I try to keep it just as simple as possible and just stick with the basics. Then once you have it built, you're going to save it. And then you're going to come over here to Code View. I like to use the HTML output, and you're going to copy this entire piece of code right here. Okay, are you with me? We're going to copy that. And then wherever it is you're wanting to put this, you're going to need to go into the platform. And if you are, if you are wanting to put it on your Facebook page, you can do that as well. Okay. Now what I've done is I simply dragged over this, and for the Weebly site, I simply dragged over the embed code. And I clicked on this, I edit, and then I'm going to paste that long piece of code that I just gave you earlier. Now, I'm not actually going to use this one, so I'm going to delete that. Now, if you are working with a WordPress site and you want that someplace, that's going to be easy enough to handle. So sign into your WordPress site. Okay. And let's go into the site. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the home page of my site and just see where it makes sense to have that, where it looks, where it's going to look right. And for this particular site, I think what I'm going to do is put it down here in the footer. Okay, so each one is a little, each WordPress site can vary a little bit, and quite frankly, I don't remember where I was with this one, so I'm going to look at theme options. I'm going to try to remember where I locate that. Okay, that's the meta description. Okay, this is probably in widgets. Whoops. Yeah, okay. So the primary widget area. So the first footer area, let's see what that is. Okay, the what's new. The second footer area, there isn't anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the text or the arbitrary HTMLs. I'm going to put that in the second area. I'm just pasting that now. Okay, something to make them sign up, right? And then we're going to save that. Now, if this all went as planned, that's going to be on the home page down in our footer. Let's just scooch down there. We may need to tweak the code a little bit if it's not sized the way we want it. Okay, this is definitely not sized the way we want that to be sized. So we want this to be much wider and not nearly as tall because this doesn't look right. So we just need to go back and make some changes to that code. That's no big deal. Okay, let's see here. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay, let's see if we have some sizing options here. Okay, I'm going to pause this while I read down through this style sheet and see where I need to make the changes. I'm going to pause this just for a couple minutes here. Okay, so what I did was I went back and I checked the settings on that particular interface, and it was 660 pixels wide, which was way too big. So I made it half of that. And so this looks much better. Show you what this looks like here. Okay, much smaller. However, I think I might like to have a picture of the book in here. So I'm going to hop back over now to my media library. I think I have a picture of the front of the book. Just one moment here. Okay, so what I'm wanting to do is insert I wanted to make sure that I had a copy of this rank rocket, and I do. So that's fine. So I'm going to go back to my widget area. And I'm going to add a picture. Now let's see which one of these I want to use. You've got a couple different ways, you know, we can do this. Let's see here. Okay, now this is doing this a little bit differently. So this one I'm attaching, since I don't have Jetpack on here, so it doesn't have just a regular photo. Now I could go ahead and insert the HTML code, but I'm trying to make this just as easy for y'all as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to go over here to the widget blocks, and I'm going to make a widget block. So let's create one of these, and this will be the easiest way. And I'm going to add this media picture. Just the picture itself is all I'm wanting here. Oh, that's what I want right there. Insert that into the post. Okay, so that is what I want. I'm going to publish that. Don't worry about that. Okay, I need to make it. Let's say get more rocket. Okay. Now we're going to let's go see someplace if we can just double check that. Okay, well, that one got saved under a different one. Let's try that one again. Alrighty. Okay, let's do that one more. Let's just update that. This is another issue I'll have to fix later. Don't worry about that right now. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go back to the widget area. And I want to add widget blocks to the third footer area right here. And now I just select which one I want, which is get your free copy of Rank Rocket. I'm going to save that. Now I'm thinking that I'm going to want the picture to go first. So let's move those two. And let's take that HTML code and put that in the second one. Now let's go look and see what that looks like. Okay, so you can see I've got some sizing issues to do here. So what I'm going to need to do is go back and resize this book, and I'm also going to resize the picture of the Rank Rocket, and I'm also going to take off this title. But you kind of get an idea where I'm going with this and what that's going to look like, and I'm not going to take your time up now doing that. But the main thing is we want to have the picture of it in here, and then we want to have the place where they are able to go in and sign up. So in a nutshell, that's how you insert the code. And then I have already gone through and checked all of this, but you will definitely want to do that and make sure that everything flows smoothly the way that it's supposed to. And then that's it for implementing a lead capture.